Good day everyone. I, Christine Ibasco, together with my group mates Miss Kaimo, Miss Makale, and Mr. Era, the Team 1, we're here to discuss writing the final draft using the APA format. Simply, the final draft is the one you will submit as your completed paper. By the time you write the final draft, your writing should look polished. Choppy sentences, poor or non-existent transitions between paragraphs, grammar and spelling errors, and other characteristics of a first draft should all disappear. Also, a final draft is your last chance to exclude any signs of plagiarism from your computer. This can be done through the help of the APA format. The APA format mainly focuses on the importance of reference citation. Reference citation is a documentation needed to make your paper acceptable for academic purposes. This justifies the substance of your paper as it is established and built with basis and considerations on previous findings and in line with a natural occurring phenomena previously explored. Furthermore, this gives credibility to your work as it emphasizes that your work is a product of effort and not just a mere alteration of a copied paper from someone else's mind. APA format is a style recommended by the American Psychological Association and is widely used in the field of social sciences. The format includes the name of the author and the year of publication, and it uses the author and date method citation. First, in the title page format, it should include the header or the running head, which should not exceed one line, and of course the page number. Moreover, the title of the page, the researcher's name, and the institution should follow afterwards. Second, the abstract format in an APA format, which represents the second page of your paper. It must summarize the subject, the research methods, and the research findings. The abstract title must also be noted to be placed in the center top of the page. And lastly, with your abstract as the summary of your paper, with 150 to 250 words, it must strictly be written in an accurate, concise, and specific manner.
Good day everyone, I am Monica Makale from Group 1. I am going to discuss the examples of reference citations in text APA style. So when creating in-text citations, we might encounter these following situations. I am going to discuss what we should do if we are following the APA style format. So the first situation is if the author's name occurs in the text. So what we should do is to follow the last name with the year of publication, which should be enclosed in a parenthesis, just like in the example. Second is if the author's name is not mentioned in the actual text, we should enclose the author's last name, plus comma, and year of publication, all within parentheses. Third, if the author's name and publication date are mentioned in the actual text, just like in the example, we don't need to mention them again within parentheses. Next is when we are dealing with information from a book or a web page, readers might find it difficult to locate the part we use as our reference. Therefore, we should add page numbers or paragraph number after the publication year. So the abbreviations for page are double small letter P period or single small letter P period. While the symbol for paragraph, we can see the symbol for paragraph at the lower right corner of the slide. So this symbol means para. You can also look at the provided example below for reference. Based on the third example, we can see that we can also indicate names of sections like introduction, body, or conclusion for more specificity. Next, if a work has two authors and they are mentioned in the text, their last names should be cited every time they appear on the text. Plus, their names must be connected by the word "and". Sixth, if a work has two authors but they are not mentioned in the text, both of them should also always be mentioned, but their last names should be connected by an ampersand sign. Seventh, if a work has more than two but less than six authors, their names must all be mentioned in the first appearance. And in the next appearances, the second up to the last name should be replaced by et al. Lastly, when we are dealing with direct quotations, we should enclose the author, the year of publication, and page number within parentheses. So the punctuation depends on the location of the quotation. For example, if the quoted passage appeared in the middle of the sentence, the citation should immediately follow the quotation. So there is no period after the parentheses. But if the quotation appears at the end of the sentence, the citation should appear at the end of the sentence followed by a period. However, we follow different rules when we are using quotations with more than 40 words. If a quotation has more than 40 words, we should not put quotation marks in it. Instead, we must indent the whole passage with double spacing. After the period, we must put the page number within parentheses. Another thing is that if we are citing a work discussed in another work, we must just mention the original work's authors and give the citation to the work where we saw the information, or what we call the secondary source. So we should take note that the reference list must contain the secondary source, not the primary source.
Good day everyone, I am Jana Marie Caimo. So for the continuation, we have here the definition of a reference list. APA style suggests using a reference list for references cited in the text of a paper rather than a bibliography. A reference list includes only those references which were actually cited in the text of one's paper, unlike a bibliography that includes all literature consulted was immediately relevant to the research paper even though the material was not cited in the text of one's paper. In short, a reference list is the detailed list of references that are cited in your work, while a bibliography is a detailed list of references cited in your work, plus the background readings of other materials that you may have read but not actually cited. We have here an example of a reference list and a bibliography. They have no so much differences, only that in reference list, it has the detailed list of references cited in your work, while in a bibliography, it has a detailed list of references, but not all are cited in your work. Now, let us proceed to the order of references in the reference list. We have here number 1, arrange entries in alphabetical order by surname of the first author. We have here an example of a reference list. As you can see, we have various surnames such as Adamson, Coetzee, and Danielson. It is noticeable that it follows the order in number 1, which states that all entries in a reference list should be in alphabetical order by surname of the first author. Following number 1, we have number 2, that states that single author entries precede multiple author entries beginning with the same surname. As you can see in our example, we have here 2 references that have the same author, which is Kaufman. The first reference precedes the other as it has a single author, which is Kaufman Jr., while the other has a multiple author, which is Kaufman Jr. and Cochran DC. When making a reference list with the same surnames, it is important to remember that single authors comes first over those with multiple authors. Next is number 3. Reference with the same first author and different second or third author are arranged alphabetically by the surname of the second author and so on. In this case, as you can notice, both references have the same first author, but also both have multiple authors. So what we are going to do is to look for the surname of the second author and arrange it alphabetically. Just like in the example, Jones comes first before Wong. Second to the last order is number 4. References with the same authors in the same order are arranged by year of publication, the earliest first. In our example, we have here the same author but a different year. So the reference that should come first is the one with the earliest year, such as Kaufman Jr. and Jones K. 1977, before Kaufman Jr. and Jones K. 1980. We have here the last order in the reference list, which is number 5. The order of several works by different authors with the same surname is arranged alphabetically by the first initial. As you can notice in the example, Elliot AL comes first before Elliot GE because A comes first before G in alphabetical order. And that's it. Thank you for listening in my discussion. I hope you learn a lot.
Good day everyone, my name is Arvin Joshua Era and this is the continuation of our report for Team 1. Examples of item list and a reference list. Although the format for books, journal articles, magazine articles, and other media is similar, there are some slight differences. Items in a reference list should be double-spaced. Also, use hanging indents and entries should begin flush left with subsequent lines indented. Examples for book with one author. Castle, E. B. Open parenthesis, 1970, close parenthesis, The Teacher, London, Oxford University Press, period. For two authors, McCandles, B. R. Ampersand, Evans, E. D. period, open parenthesis, 1973, close parenthesis, period. Children and Youth, Psychosocial Development, Hinsdale, IL, Dryden Press. If there are 3 more authors, list each author with the corresponding organization. Smith, B. Barr, R. N. Burke, D. 1978, Alternatives in Education. Freedom to Choose, Bloomington, INP Delta Kappa Educational Foundation. For journal articles, these are the examples for one author and 2 authors. For journal articles with society, association, or institution as author, list the society, association, or institution as author in the first line. Note that the sentence should be indented still. And here are for newspaper articles with no authors. For magazine with one author and no author. If there are no author, the first should be the title of the articles. For references retrieved from the electronic media, note that these have DOI assigned at the last. For article in an internet-only journal with no DOI assigned, you can use the reference retrieved from the web page.